of lives as you've been able to help people connect and introduce a lot of people to not only have you been able to introduce a lot of business to people, but a lot of relationships have been created as a result.
Right. Relationships are the key and foundation to everything that I do.
Absolutely. I would agree with that, and I think most of our listeners would, and of course, in our opinion, should as well. Shouldn't everybody agree with us at all times?
Yeah, they should, you know.
Okay, so you, for the beginning part of your life, you were in Chicago, moved to Kentucky, and then you arrived here, and obviously loved it. Otherwise, 20 years of your life wouldn't have been spent here, is the assumption. That's wonderful. And so in the last 40 years, you've had a lot of experience in some certain areas. Tell us a little bit about your areas of expertise.
Well, I spent my early years, and you know, I'll just share with the audience here that I'll be 64 in June. So, you know, when you hear me say I have 40 years experience, it's the truth.
And I think we have a very honest person here. All of you out there trying to do the math, she just did it for you.
You know, there are no secrets here. But, you know, the first 20 years of my life, I spent in the corporate environment in a variety of positions, including administration, including sales and marketing. And when I moved out here 20 years ago, I was still in sales and marketing and had several sales jobs that I had. And in '96, I was I was just tired, and decided to make a change, and actually went back to school and became a massage therapist.
Oh, look at that. You're a great person to know.
You didn't know that about me.
If I put my feet up on the table,
stick them up here. We'll give you a little thumb action here.
This is family rated.
But yeah, you know, and it took me down a whole different path. Out of that came the desire to do more than just. I built a pretty amazing practice in a very short period of time, using the skills that I inherently knew about networking. I knew that I needed to go out and meet people. I knew I needed to bring them into my business. And in a very short period of time, I was seeing 4 and 5 clients a day, sometimes 6 days a week. That's a busy practice.
Hey, it's a busy practice.
And I decided that there was something else that I needed to do. I had already built my own financial ceiling. I could only do so many people a day. There's only so many hours in the day, and it's like, what else could I do? And decided to start and produce a holistic health expo.
Okay. And
did that for 3 years. Hosted it down at the convention center in Phoenix.
Right.
And it was a 2-day event, and it was really pretty successful till the last year. I had some challenges that happened the last year, as we all do when we go into business.
Sure.
And unfortunately, it was some things that I had no control over. There was a huge chemical spill in downtown Phoenix the Friday afternoon that my exhibitors were setting up, and the news media loved the story.
Oh.
They breaking news every 15 minutes of hazmat outfits and telling the general public, do not come to downtown Phoenix. Highly toxic waste chemical spill. And that was a year that I had the Business Journal was a sponsor. I had a lot of really good sponsorship. We were geared for 5,000 people that year.
Wow.
The previous 2 years, I'd had about 3,500 attend. I had about 150 exhibitors.
Okay.
And I had less than 500 attendees that year.
That's
It was a disastrous business experience, and it honestly, it put me into bankruptcy.
You know, there's a reason that they talk about certain things are not covered under acts of God, and I think that would be considered in that category. And so in business, the only thing that you can do is plan to know that once in a while you're going to get hit like that. But who knew?
You know, of course, I learned after the fact that there was insurance that I could have had.
Sure, and that's what I meant. So, any of you, since we referral partner, any of you insurance guys out there, you're welcome to call us, and we'll tout what you have to say.
And be a good insurance agent and tell your client that, you know, let me tell you about all the coverages that you should have, and then you choose whether you want them or not. So
sure.
But that took me on a whole different path. I had a really good friend, lots of good friends, but one of them in particular who was a web developer, and called me up one day. He was living in Sedona, and he called me up one day, and I think he was tired of my whining and crying and being on my pity pot, and oh, poor me, and look what's happened to me, kind of thing. And he called up and he said, I want you to log onto the internet. Type in AskSandyRogers.com. And I was like, damn, what did you do? And I typed in it. Here up pops this website with my picture on it, the referral queen. I said, take that down now. He said, I'm not taking it down. It's who you are. It's what you do. You can't give it back. Go to work. And he hung up on me.
Wow. Yeah, this guy knew your future.
You know, it's like those kind of friends are few and far between in our lives, and I'm really grateful. And sadly, he passed last year. So, but that really was the birth of AskSandyRogers.com, and me really stepping into an area of business that I just inherently know, and that's to teach people how to network. I teach people what I call myself a marketing 101 mentor.
Sure.
And it's the basics. People, even if you've been in business for a long time, we tend to get away from the basics of growing our business and building our business. And it's all about building and developing relationships through the process of networking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And any of you know from the previous times we've talked about the social media, as you see Facebook going in fits and starts. The problem with Facebook is that everybody thinks that it is more than it is.
Yeah.
The social media, when people realize its place, it is more like is one part of a great meal. It is not the meal. And so people who completely live and die by Facebook don't realize that you have to develop relationships outside of Facebook. You need to
live relationships.
Yeah, live relationships.
not just a keyboard and a screen relationship, but a live relationship.
Go meet, shake some hands, get out there, and actually meet in person.
Right.
And so that's you'll hear every so often through our show, even though we talk a lot about social media and online advertising, search engine optimization. Last week we talked about the Panda guidelines and the Penguin penalties, and how a lot of you don't realize that some of the things you've been doing to get your websites out there are crumbling, and you're actually falling in rank instead of increasing in rank. These are all need to be supplanted by relationships that don't fall apart.
Right.
So we would I want to thank Sandy for letting us introduce her, and then when we come back from the break, we're going to talk a lot more about the strategy of professional networking. Well, let's tune in right after the break. Thank you. These guys over here, I kept looking, and I'm like, so all of a sudden it goes 3 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds.